All right, so this is a 1998 Mercedes-Benz G500 Cabriolet. And to have the combination of the short wheelbase, the 5-liter V8 up front, and the powered retractable soft top, those three together makes this a very rare G-Wagon. And 98 was the first model year for these. And this is also an original European market car. It's not a gray market car. But I'm just going to talk a little bit about the car and do a quick walk around. But if you'd like to just skip ahead to the driving portion of this video, just go to this time right here at the bottom right of the screen. But in the meantime, this is a really, really great little truck. We actually stumbled across this truck through our G-Wagon restoration partner that we have in Germany. So this is a German market car for its whole life, delivered new, and lived there, drove 168,000 kilometers until we obtained it. And the car was in fantastic condition. It really didn't need a whole lot, but we went ahead and just did, a cosmetic restoration, if you will, to the truck. We put a new soft top on. The original one was just a little bit sun faded. We went ahead and reconditioned the wheels. We replaced the brakes, replaced the rear suspension, actually front and rear suspension shocks. Went through and really gave the car a good bill of health. Mechanically, it was in fantastic shape. Like I mentioned, 168,000 kilometers. It's about 100,000 miles. Not the most for a truck like this, and it certainly didn't show, but now it has nice fresh leather on the door cards. The seats have been reupholstered, as well as new leather and wood trim all around the interior. New carpets as well. We really just refreshed the truck and returned it, to how it was back when new in 1998. But I think without further ado, I'm actually just going to hop inside and show what the soft top lowering process is, and then just go ahead and take it out on the road. And so to lower the soft top, the first thing you want to do, there are two zippers on each side of the rear window. You just want to undo those just so they can stretch a little bit. You don't need to unhook it. And then the next step from there is you want to pull the e-brake up. This has to be engaged. You have to be in park, foot on the brake. You lift these sun visors down. Just release these two latches. And then from here, you really just pull back on this button, which is illuminated. And there you go. Once that's done, you push these back up. The beeping goes away. You can lower your handbrake. And now we are in business. These cars do have an absolutely fantastic turning radius. And they're so comfortable. This car does have power adjustable seats. So the headrest is even adjustable as well. And the tilting back, scooting forward, going up and down. I believe they're 8-way adjustable. We're a little low on fuel right now, so I'm actually going to stop real quick and just put a little bit of gas in the tank. As you can see, this is a very enjoyable driving experience. One of the issues with G-Wagons pre-federalization, pre-really U.S. market exposure, especially the 280s and even the 230s, they're just a little underpowered. And by a little, I mean they're underpowered. But this feels and has the response of a modern G-Wagon, so I'm just going to go ahead and stop right. And I do think this car benefits from the fresh suspension, obviously fresh tires, fresh brakes. Everything just feels fresh. It's a very nice thing, especially when you buy a new car with a leather steering wheel, and you just sort of get to feel it before the oils in your hand start to, make it glossy. And to feel that in a truck that's 25 years old, it's kind of fun. It's almost like going back in time a little bit. Go ahead and turn our headlights on here as well. By far the most enjoyable thing about driving this truck is the reason that it's so valuable. It's the open top experience. It's very strange because it's still a G-Wagon. It feels very familiar, but you have no roof when you look up. And then you look behind you and there's nothing there. It's a pretty funny experience. Speedometer is in kilometers per hour, which means our temperatures are in Celsius. and the clock is 24-hour time. You know, this car's got a pretty decent amount of get up and go. It really is very fun to drive. A major misconception about these trucks is that with the short wheelbase, they feel a little bit like they're on stilts. And it definitely has more body roll than you would expect, because you sort of, with that shorter wheelbase, you kind of want to throw it around a little bit more. It feels a little bit more like a regular car size-wise, but you know, the body roll reminds you that it's still a truck, which I think is what leads to that conclusion that, you know, it's just a little topsy-turvy. But when you're actually behind the wheel, I'll tell you this, it's a lot better than a short wheelbase Jeep or Bronco, believe it or not. Yeah, it's funny because nowadays a lot of people use these. Obviously, Kendall Jenner has one. You know, a lot of celebrities like these trucks because they're kind of dainty. They look dainty, at least. You know, they definitely have an odd look to them. And frankly, I'd like to know the conversation in the boardroom at Mercedes when they even came up with this truck. But the reality is, when you get past all that, these are really fun to drive. And it's hard to imagine a more fun truck to cruise around in with your buddies in the back seat. You don't want to be bringing the whole group, but you know, 3 friends, and just you know, because the back seat experience is honestly even more fun than the front seat experience. You know, and there's plenty of legroom back there for 2 full-size adults, 1 medium-sized adult. And if you're not having fun with this truck, then you know, what are you really doing? That's the whole purpose. And then again, we come back to this, you have a 5-liter V8 under the hood. You do have your 4-wheel drive transfer case. And these are pretty capable trucks, you know? Like, it's not a pig wearing lipstick. It's the real deal. I think the nice thing about the restorative work that's been done to this truck, the whole point of it has just been to return the car to stock as it was new. No crazy modifications, no AMG wheels, you know, nothing that would remove or alter. It's just the classiness of this thing. You know, it is a silly truck, but you look at it and this is, you know, it's got that 90s Mercedes flair to it. You know, and this is a decade that we saw not only the AMG merger, but the CLK GTR, the CLR earlier in the 90s. Obviously, you know, the 190E DTM car. Mercedes was kind of happening in the 90s. It was a very good decade for them. And this is a truck that fits right in with the lineup of just wacky, creative vehicles. So we're sitting at 100 kilometers an hour right now. It's about 62 miles per hour. Get it up a little past that. Just show how it is at highway speed. And you can see my hand on the steering wheel. The steering is very light, but it's not twitchy or anything. The Sawmill is a very good example of what a poorly paved road is, and it's taking it like a champ. from this stop here, I'll go ahead and put a little bit of juice into the throttle, and you'll see a glimpse of the kind of get up and go this truck has. What else can you say?